Right guys, so the final session on home soil prior to the last show of the season. So I'll do a quick wrap up of the show so far. This will probably come out after Empro's done, obviously. But I was going to do another review of the entire season in another video. But for the first two shows, so I came 7th in California at the California State Pro. And at that point, I thought it was my best look ever. I touched flat, but you know, it's a combination of 20 weeks dieting at that point, traveling and all that sort of stuff. But I was delighted with the look. I was really happy with some of the photos that came out of that. But no, the whole experience was brilliant. Eloise and I went to Venice Beach, trained there, went to Metroflex Long Beach, which was brilliant as well. Obviously soaked in the sun, LA kind of culture as much as we possibly could. It was a great experience, and the show itself was very well run. It was in a really nice Marriott in Anaheim. The venue was brilliant. They gave the IFBB Pros their own section and all that sort of stuff, and it was dead chilled, very American, very enthusiastic. If any potential pros watch this channel, and I seriously consider the California State Pro as your pro debut. It was so relaxed, so chilled out. Sass helped a lot as well, just being that kind of dad figure backstage. Obviously, this is like his millionth show, so he he invited me to sit with him and stuff like that. So it was really nice. It was such a good experience. Almost died from jet lag on the way back. I've never held water from a flight ever, but flying through the night on the way back, an 11-hour flight on the way back, not being able to drink, altitude, so held a good bit of water off the back of that flight. Got rid of it pretty quickly after 3 or 4 days, but finally experienced jet lag and water retention from a flight. So moving into France, I said to Nick that I want to be a wee bit fuller, so we came down a wee bit just to get the water off, and then we kind of pushed up the food a little bit earlier than we did prior, and then kind of just coasted into the show on around between 750 and 1,000 grams of carbs coasting into the show. I was that pound fuller. France definitely beat the California look. Could I have been a wee bit drier? Possibly, but the French look was definitely one that is my PB of all time. On my Instagram, the most recent pinned post is the front lat spread and the classic shot from Marseille, and that's two of my favourite stage shots ever. I think most people will agree, most competitors will agree, when you get staged photos back, I think you like 1 out of 1,000. So to have so many stage photos from the first two shows that I'm happy with is a good sign for me. The experience itself of that show, very different from California. France felt a wee bit, it felt just very corporate, if that makes sense. It didn't feel like there's a lot of personality to that show, put it that way. That's the way I saw it. But it was good to have Kieran and Eloise backstage with me as well the entire time, which was great. So, and again, loved the look. And we're now 5 days out from the Empro, which is the last show of the season in Alicante. The lineup got released this morning, and the lineup's even tougher than the one in France. So it's 18 guys, whereas France was 15. Like I said, I came 10th in France. I think, obviously, I'm the most critical of myself out of everyone on this planet. I've personally had me in 9th in France, but again, it's only a place in. To get 2 top 10s in my pro debut has already surpassed my expectations and my goals. So going into the Empro, Nick and I had a wee discussion this morning about what we want to do. So I'm actually trending upward in terms of body weight. So I was 263.5 this morning. I was 260.5 in France. 263.5. I'm starting to see my conditioning kind of go backwards a wee bit. Not in terms of body fat, just in terms of like that kind of grainy hardness that I can get in. So Nick and I have agreed to scale the food back today and tomorrow, reassess Thursday morning when we get to Alicante, and then if we need to carb up into the show, we will. We are also planning on using diuretics this time. So we didn't use diuretics in California and France. So this time around, we're going to think about using them going into Empro. And I'm not going to win, I'll touch on this in a second, but I'm not going to win the size game. I'm not going to win the shape game through my upper half. Absolutely not. So I might as well push for a wee bit more conditioning and kind of go down that route rather than trying to come in overly full and sacrifice the condition that I do have. So the takeaway from those two shows, I'm not round enough through my upper half. I don't think any of the shows I've been outsized, personally. People can maybe comment below and disagree with that. I don't think I've been outsized. I've been outshaped and out-rounded, if that's possible. As I said for years, my shoulders and my chest have always been my weakest body parts. As much as I've put on a lot of size between 2024 and now, It's purely just been size. Now, what I mean by that is it's not that round capped look to both the chest and the shoulders that I've been able to achieve this time around. So I had a wee back and forth with Greg Taylor, and we came to the conclusion, and Nicky obviously as well, we came to the conclusion that I need to overhaul my shoulder training. What I've been doing for the past 18 years has worked to an extent, but it's not brought the look that I need. The guys that are placing ahead of me, every single one of them, they all have something I don't, and that is round capped delts and a top line that is very imposing from the get-go. I don't think my lower half was outdone by anyone. I think my lower half's been top 3 in both shows. My back double bicep, I was delighted with how that looks. Back lat spread, delighted with how they looked, but it's just that top line. So already implemented some of the stuff, not all of the stuff, sorry, that Greg's asked me to do. And already I've seen changes to my shoulders. So it's a style, obviously, we'll film something once the season's all done and dusted. It'd be cool if you and Greg could come down and film with us, but it's a style of training that, in all honesty, I would have poo-pooed in the past. I'd have looked at that and gone, that's a fucking waste of time. Like, not partial reps, but not working a full range of motion, constant tension, that sort of training that I would call fluff. But I've done 4 sessions of it, sorry, and already I'm seeing changes in my shoulders. So it's definitely something I'm going to run with for next year. Kind of rambled on a wee bit too much there. Back session today. We'll get a wee look post-workout as well. And yeah, this is the last one in Scotland from the pro debut. So yeah, the debut's done exactly what I wanted it to do, and that's to essentially expose everything that's wrong with me. Not that I already didn't know, and it's like I said, it's been since day dot. I remember doing the NABA Scottish, seeing photos from that, and I thought, where are my shoulders? Genuinely thought I had a pair of shoulders, but so it's always going to be my thing to try and bring up my top line. And not to mention, like, my condition's the best it's ever been. This is the most conditioned I've ever been. Can you be too conditioned? Nah, never. You can never be too conditioned. So I still want harder glutes. I still want, more lines here, there, and everywhere. And that will come with time, with more muscle as well. But also now, what the pro debut also showed me was that I'm not far away five guys. You tell them at the end of the prep. I'm not that far away size-wise, and I don't need to push body weight. I don't need to push my body fat. I don't need to do these big off seasons that I've kind of been known for in previous years. I'm more than happy to keep it within shooting distance of like a decent spot. Just say, like, for argument's sake, like an 8 weeks out mark. Maybe that's a bit lean, but you know what I mean. Now that I've had that boot up the arse, being exposed on the pro level, I think it's only benefited me. At the time, it's a wee bit weird when you've only ever placed in the top 3 of every show you've ever done, and then you come 7th and 10th. It is a weird feeling. Not that I wasn't happy to be there, and I was delighted with the look that me and Nick brought, but you do just stand there like, I don't know how to act in this situation. So but yeah, it's a humbling experience, but you need to go through these things in sport. You need to go through times where you're shown that you are not as great as you might think you are. So. But yeah, I was looking, after Cali and after France as well, I was looking through like all the records of like current British pros that are at the top, and just being like, right, okay, he came 8th in his first show, he came 10th in his first show. I'm like, I don't feel that bad. It is weird how you, like, you shouldn't compare yourself, but kind of a bit of a hypocrite on that one. But if I'm going to pursue this for the next how many years, I kind of need to know that my starting point, compared to guys who have ended up doing really, really well, is kind of on the right road. If I'm coming last in both shows, being absolutely obliterated in photos, getting kind of shit feedback, I'd be like, nah, I don't know if I should pursue this any longer. But the feedback I had from both shows was brilliant. It's been eye-opening. Even though I followed the sport since I was 16, it's totally different when you're standing next to these people, like absolute mutants of humans. Again, I've been around it my whole life. It's still mind-blowing how people can look like that. And now you're being compared next to them as well, so the joys. Downstairs. So just one working set. Close to failure. Probably one short of failure. Right, I don't know who you are, but I think someone comes into Future Fitness and untightens the kit. Like they bring like an Allen key or a wrench and untightens the kit. I'll find you one day. I know someone's doing that. Like the leg press, there's the bolt on the bottom side of the sled is loose. It's not a thing. Someone's definitely coming in and untightening all the kit. Just gonna do one working set again. If I can control it as much as I possibly can. As always should anyway. Well, one thing I'm going to do going into this off season though is train legs once every 2 weeks. Not that I have the best legs in the world, but in terms of allocating energy, we've discussed this before, allocating energy to recovering the 2 push sessions that I'm going to be doing. So legs are there, in my opinion. Again, feel free to comment and disagree. But I think my legs are where they need to be, plus or minus a wee bit more in terms of like fullness and separation. But my back as well, I feel those are the body parts that are there. I just need the shoulders to match, maybe a wee bit more separation in my arms, shoulders and chest. As long as I bring them up, I think that'd be me. But again, I don't think I was blown away size-wise, so I'm quite happy with that in terms of the first pro season. So. Right guys, so that wraps up the last session on home soil. And yeah, another good one there. I mean, as good as it could possibly be. Trying to train hard and lift as much as I possibly can, but not go too crazy and end up burning myself out. And the last thing I want to do is obviously bring a tired look to the show. It's been a long prep, so by the time Impro's done, that'll be 26 weeks in total. So I started dieting on the 1st of January, but it's definitely been the best prep ever. Stayed a lot bigger this time, haven't buried myself into the ground. I still think I could maybe dialed back the training, especially the leg training, a wee bit earlier, but I mean, these are all things you learn from every single prep. And like I said at the start of the video, is that I'll probably, no, I can't remember what I said in the video, somewhere in the video, I said about training legs once every 2 weeks. So I think that's going to be the game plan going forward, just to conserve energy for shoulders and chest, and the fact that my legs are in a pretty good position. So yeah, going into Impro, food's a wee bit lower today, 650 carbs. I know that's quite a lot to a lot of people, but to me that's relatively low in terms of what we've been doing since we came back from France. Tomorrow, I'll probably go 500 tomorrow. Well, I like eating nothing when I travel, or as close to nothing as it possibly can be. And then we'll, if we need to, we'll load Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and just decide how much food to do those days. And like I said, maybe a wee bit of diuretic use this time around as well. The rest, the sun, the vitamin D, that should all tie into what I hope will be the best look of the season. Going into this one pretty chilled, in the sense that, like I said, Impro is one of my favourite shows. Been there 5 times. It's just a dead kind of stress-free environment, and then obviously that's the prep done. And as much as, you know, I live for bodybuilding, it's my entire life at this point. I am excited for this to be over, but not in a sense that I get to go home and completely fall off track. Like, I'll be training the Monday in Alicante after the show, and then straight back onto my diet as of the Tuesday, and then we go from there. Biggest relief for me at this point in my career, 15 years in, 14 years in, is when a prep's over, you don't have to think about how you look to the same extent. Obviously, you're kind of constantly looking in the mirror and whatnot, still doing your check-ins 2 or 3 times a week, but you've not got that kind of like boiling anxiety that's always kind of there when you're constantly thinking about how am I looking this, how's that looking, what am I doing here, what am I doing here. It is a really nice mental break once that's all gone. So anyway, thanks for all the support throughout the prep. That's the pro debut done and dusted, and touch wood, all going well. Probably look to do shows late next year, October, November, and yeah, see what size we can put on from that point. Obviously, I'll keep you all in tune with what I'm doing, training wise, composition wise, and yeah, stick around, do all the social media stuff, like, follow, subscribe, and yeah, cheers guys.